To pay off a 100,000 debt, my agent booked me a risque love scene. The A-list actor I was supposed to work with blew up. I don't do guy-on-guy scenes. Tell that nobody to pull up his pants and get the hell out. I sighed and pulled my pants on, climbing out from under the covers. The superstar glanced at me. Then, his face suddenly beat red. He blocked my way. Director, let's roll. I'm a straight guy who sold out, and right now I was on a bed, seriously practicing how to arch my back for the camera. My butt was up in the air, the bath towel stretched to its absolute limit. In the crowded studio, a deep, dissatisfied voice rumbled. Let me see just how shameless he can be. I froze. I didn't expect the director to be so blunt. But to pay off my debts, this straight guy was ready to do whatever it took. I gritted my teeth, swallowed my pride, and arched my back as far as it could go. Then I heard that same deep voice finish its sentence. Let me see how much the penalty is for breaking the contract. I'll pay whatever it costs. Who the hell booked me for this trashy movie? I have standards. I don't do guy-on-guy scenes. Tell that nobody to pull up his pants and get the hell out of here. Pronto. That wasn't the director. It was the A-list actor, my co-star, who had just arrived. And he hadn't said shameless, he'd said how much. The buzzing studio went dead silent. Seeing that everyone was too scared to make a peep, I knew my shot was gone. So, I started pulling my pants back on, getting up from the bed. My phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a credit card payment reminder. I let out a helpless sigh. Was I really going to have to sell my body for my gambling-addicted dad, my sick mom, and my siblings' tuition? Should I have said yes to the 300-pound sugar mama who slipped me her room key last night? Just as I was about to leave, a tall figure suddenly blocked my path. I stopped. I looked up and met the superstar's incredibly handsome, yet flushed and flustered, face. Director, let's roll. This guy's brain was definitely wired differently. What made him suddenly change his mind? Professionalism. It had to be his professionalism. No matter how much he had just cussed out the project, no matter how much he hated it, it couldn't overcome his ingrained sense of professional duty. A pro is a pro. I treasured this opportunity and excitedly grabbed Michael's hand. Sir, I'll be sure to give it my all. Michael yanked his hand back like he'd been electrocuted, a look of horror on his face. Wow, he was that repulsed by physical contact between two men. The fact that he was still willing to do the scene made him seem even more professional. A nobody like me couldn't hold up an A-lister and the whole crew. I quickly stripped off my pants and shirt and put the towel back on. Michael watched me with a cold, silent expression. So serious, so professional. The first scene was our intense love scene on the bed. But when the camera panned over, Michael, sitting on the edge of the bed, didn't say his first line. Is this what it means to be a superstar? A true film artist, needing to brew his emotions so seriously for even a single line. I waited intently for him to get into character. This level of professionalism was something I'd never seen before. He was a true role model. Michael's gaze drifted down to my towel, and he swallowed hard. I got the hint. I understood. No wonder he wasn't saying his lines. He thought my pose in the first shot wasn't up to snuff. A pro was giving me such an obvious cue. I had to be smart enough to take it. I shifted my body, threw my back into it, and pushed my butt up as high as it could possibly go. Michael gasped, his eyes wide with disbelief. A stream of blood shot from his nose, splattering all over my towel before he collapsed. He weakly choked out a single word. Hot. The crew immediately rushed over. They dragged Michael up from the floor. He frantically covered his nose, his face bright red, and explained to everyone. Spicy. I ate something too spicy. His agent rushed over with tissues. Michael, are you feeling unwell lately? Of course not. Michael cut him off sharply, then suddenly turned his blushing face to meet my eyes on the bed. He looked right at me and declared sternly, I'm in perfect health. He really emphasized the perfect health part. But the next second, Michael's gaze dropped from my eyes down to my newly learned kneeling pose, with my legs tucked under me. He snapped his head back, clamping a hand over his nose. Oh crap. His agent panicked, seeing the non-stop nosebleed. Michael, are you okay? Why is your face so red? Your arms are burning up. Maybe we should take a break for today, or use a body double for a few shots. I mean, you can't handle the intimate scenes between two guys anyway. You should rest. No, absolutely no body doubles. I can do it. Michael's voice was hoarse and breathy. Just get me some ice water. I watched Michael's back as he chugged the water, my eyes filled with admiration. So dedicated. These were just unimportant shots, all physical contact and tangled limbs, where his face wouldn't even be shown. And yet, him, a superstar, even if his body was failing him, he absolutely refused to use a double and insisted on doing it himself. After Michael downed a huge bottle of ice water and recovered, we finally started shooting. The veins on Michael's arms bulged, his strong, bony hands gripping my calf tightly. The way he looked at me was anything but innocent. That's what you call professional. Even though the camera couldn't see his face, he perfectly portrayed the character's mix of shy desire and the urge to absolutely ravage his partner. He even faked a feverish body temperature. His panting was so real, they wouldn't even need to dub it. I, on the other hand, was having a hard time getting into character. Thankfully, his brilliant acting carried me, and I barely managed to get through the morning's shoot. The moment the director yelled cut, Michael shot out of the bed. He went straight to the bathroom, and he stayed in there for over half an hour. I heard someone say he was feeling sick. Oh no, he was in there for so long. Could it be that he couldn't handle the intimacy with another man? Did the scene make him sick to his stomach? Is Michael okay? I cautiously asked my agent. My agent frowned and shook his head seriously. TSK, TSK. I saw him clutching his stomach on the way in. I bet he's nauseous, throwing up in there. Didn't you hear him before we started? He said he couldn't handle this kind of thing. So it really was a physical reaction. What I didn't expect was that I wasn't that bothered by scenes like this. Turns out I was a natural at selling out, thinking that I was fine. While Michael had to fight through his nausea to finish the scene with me, I sighed. This must be really tough on a superstar like him. Just as the words left my mouth, a cool, pleasant voice sounded behind me. Leo, your name is Leo, right? Wanna come to my trailer and take a nap together?
A nap together?
I craned my neck to look back at him, confused. Michael looked at me, blushing for a couple of seconds before correcting himself. Lunch. I misspoke. I meant lunch. What do you like to eat? I'll have my agent order something. We can eat in my trailer. Wasn't he afraid that watching me eat would make him puke again? What if he threw up in my bowl? Besides, who was I to go into a superstar's trailer? No thanks, Michael. I'm fine with the cruise boxed lunch. Michael's agent came over to ask him, Michael, what do you want for lunch today? Michael waved his hand. It's fine. I'll just have the cruise boxed lunch. His agent looked like he'd just heard the most shocking news of his life and jumped back. Michael, did I hear you right? You're so picky about food. When have you ever eaten the cruise? Before he could finish, Michael clamped a hand over his mouth and dragged him away. When I got my lunchbox, Michael sat down next to me with his chopsticks. He stared intently at the food I put in my mouth. His eyes fixated on a crumb at the corner of my lips, and he swallowed hard. They ran out of lunches by the time they got to me. Can we share? How could I let a superstar eat my leftovers? That's a capital offense. Luckily, my agent was quick on his feet. Michael, take mine. I'm Leo's agent. I haven't opened it yet. He shoved it into Michael's hands and gave me a wink. I winked back. Awesome. He just scored me some major brownie points with the superstar. So smart. But Michael frowned and pushed it back to him. No, you eat this. I'll just share with Leo. I was stunned. I never thought a high and mighty superstar would be so kind to a no-name crew member from a tiny, broke company like me. He had no airs at all. He was willing to put himself out just to share a meal with me. Michael turned to me and said awkwardly, Leo, actually, I want to get into character with you as quickly as possible. Sharing a meal might help us find the right vibe. I stopped chewing. I sighed internally. So, Michael noticed I wasn't in character just now, that my acting felt flat. No wonder he's a superstar. Someone way more talented than me is also working way harder, even using his break time to find the right feeling for a scene. I can't hold him back. I have to cooperate. I'm obviously untalented and not trying hard enough. He's practically spelling it out for me. I need to get my act together, I asked with a serious expression. If we're trying to find the vibe, should I feed you or should you feed me? Michael's face suddenly turned red. Before he could answer, I threw caution to the wind and jumped sideways into his lap. Here, hold me while we eat. Let's find the vibe. Hold me tighter, sir. There weren't many people in the little room, just my agent, who was giving us a weird look. Eventually, he felt too awkward and left. Only then did Michael start to clumsily feed me. That's what you call professional. Even after I got off his lap, he was still lost in some strange emotion, his breathing ragged. There was no trash can in the room, so I was about to go outside to throw away our empty food containers. Michael suddenly grabbed my wrist from behind. Let's rehearse some more. How? He already fed me, right? How else were we supposed to find the vibe? Michael's gaze fell on the bed in the room. For two men to act in a show like this, if we don't try to connect off screen, our physical contact on screen will seem really stiff. You don't know me well enough, so you can't get into character, and your emotions won't feel natural. If we want to make this film good, we can't just be intimate on screen, we have to be off screen too. I straightened my back. I understand, Michael. Michael, maybe because it was too hot in the room, asked me with a red face. So, do you have a girlfriend? I was about to answer when a crew member knocked and came in looking for me. I followed the crew member out, throwing the trash away on my way. After filming ended in the afternoon, I found Michael. Michael, whatever you think we need to do to build our chemistry, I'm all for it. I'll follow your lead. Michael swallowed hard. Since you agree, we're at the same hotel. Why don't you come to my room tonight? We can go over the script together? I nodded honestly. Sure. You got it. The shoot was on a mountain, and the hotel was at the foot of it down a winding road. My agency is dirt poor. Maybe to help me save face while working with a superstar, my agent actually splurged and rented a car to pick me up. I was touched. I was definitely going to give this role my all. For the company. But when I saw the luxury car, I dove into the passenger seat, only to see Michael sitting in the back. Michael was taken aback. Are we going back to the hotel together? I grinned sheepishly. Wrong car, Michael. Then I puffed out my chest. My agent came to pick me up too. Just as I said that, my agent pulled up next to the window on a three-wheeled electric cart. Under the concerned gazes of Michael and his agent, I got into the cart, which squeaked with every turn of the wheels. You said you were driving. Why'd you come on this thing? My agent twisted the throttle with all his might. This thing is electric. So technically, I am driving. I was bounced around so much on the cart that I almost threw up my lunch. The agent, however, was riding pretty fast. By the time I got to the hotel, Michael was just swiping his card to get into his room. He thought I had followed him to his floor and blushed. You're here already? I thought you'd be later. Haven't gotten ready yet. No, Michael, you get some rest first. I turned to swipe my card for the room directly across from his. I'm just going back to my room. It's on this floor too. But Michael's expression suddenly changed. Are you sure you're in this room? Yeah. He didn't look happy. But this room was just... To prove it, I swiped my card. The moment I opened the door, the 300-pound sugar mama who approached me before was standing right inside. Before I could react, and in front of a shocked Michael, she excitedly yanked me into the room. Honey, you're finally here. I've been waiting forever for you. The door slammed shut. All 130 pounds of me trembled. This isn't the key card you gave me. The woman smirked. I know you used your own key card. I swapped them. What are you so shy for? I'm helping you. I did my research. Your dad has huge gambling debts. I've had my eye on you ever since that little event you attended. Keep me happy, and we can talk about anything. But if you think you can pay off your debts by taking a role in some gay movie, let me tell you, Michael will definitely back out. He'd never do a film like this. I'm your only option. She lunged at me. I ducked under her arm. She lunged again, I ducked again. She lunged, I ducked. I saw my chance, slammed the door handle down, and bolted. I don't need you. Michael already took the role. I'll do this myself. I scraped together all the money I had and got a new room. I swore to myself. I had to do a good job on this film with Michael. Since I was going to his room later to go over the script and practice, I couldn't show up all sweaty from my escape. So I took a hot shower. I washed myself thoroughly from head to toe until I smelled great. Wrapped in a bathrobe, I sent Michael a message. Michael, are you ready? Is it okay if I come over to go over the script now? But the reply I got was, don't worry about coming over. Michael must have been exhausted from the day's shoot and wanted to rest early. Having just showered, I was incredibly comfortable, so I didn't overthink it and fell right asleep. But during the next day's shoot, Michael just couldn't seem to get into character. We had a lot of intimate scenes. One moment I was snuggling into his chest. The next I was sitting on his lap grinding my hips. Michael held me, but he seemed incredibly unnatural, his movements stiff. It was a complete reversal from the day before. Thinking it was my fault for not cooperating enough, I wriggled deeper into his arms. But Michael instinctively flinched back. Director, my head's not in the game. I need a break. It was just like Michael said yesterday. If we didn't work on our connection off camera, it would be hard to have any chemistry on camera. So, during the break, I found Michael in the small room where we'd had lunch. I wrapped my arms around his neck. I went to sit in his lap again. Michael, let's work on our connection. But Michael dodged me, his eyes downcast. If you have a girlfriend, we shouldn't be trying to connect like this off camera. Don't worry about the shoot. I'll get my head straight. No, you've got it all wrong. I shook my head like a bobblehead doll. That woman from yesterday wasn't my girlfriend. Your sugar mama? Not that either. I didn't agree. I had no idea she was in the room. The light started to return to Michael's eyes. I pulled out my key card to show him. See, I changed rooms yesterday. I'm on the floor below, right under you. So you don't have a girlfriend, and you don't have a sugar mama? You're single? I nodded, about to leave. Yeah, I'm single. Well, Michael, you take a minute to clear your head. I'll wait for you outside. Michael's eyes lit up. He grabbed me and pulled me down onto the bed. Pinning my wrists, he pressed his lips to mine. The next scene is a kiss. Just practicing. Michael was a little too serious about his work. He had me pinned to the bed in that little room, kissing me a dozen times. And he still thought my cooperation was lacking, that my emotions weren't there yet. I was getting breathless from all the kissing, my whole body buzzing. He was still persistently tilting my chin down, teaching me patiently in my ear. Good boy. Give me your tongue. Michael, I don't know how. Never kissed before? No experience. I've never been with anyone. Michael got even more excited. In the next scene, the characters are deeply in love. The kiss has to be perfect. Come on, I'll teach you. By the end, my head was completely spinning from his kisses. Only then did he finally let me go, full of energy as he spoke to the director. Director, I found my motivation. Let's roll. And so we faced the camera for another round of intense kissing. Ever since he found out I was single, Michael had gone all out. On set, whether we were filming or not, anytime, anywhere, he had to be stuck to me, finding the vibe. Michael said if we pretended to be a real couple off-screen, our acting would be more fluid. It's true that it's hard for two men who don't know each other to portray a nuanced emotional connection. I agreed with his proposal. So, Michael insisted we share a bowl of food and drink from the same cup. When I was chatting with the crew, his hand would naturally wrap around my waist. Since I was wearing the crew's revealing cropped hoodie, Michael's strong fingers would slide under my shirt, pressing and kneading my waist. When I was watching the playback on the monitor, Michael would stand next to me, holding my hand, his fingers tracing patterns on my palm. He wouldn't let go even when my hand got sweaty. When I was so tired during night shoots that I could fall asleep standing up, I didn't have to worry. I could just close my eyes and lean in any direction, and Michael would expertly catch me in his arms. Before long, everyone on set started joking that I was Michael's little wife. None of that bothered me. I knew he was just trying to get into character as quickly as possible. But when the director called cut on a kissing scene, what did it mean when he not only refused to let go of my lip but also pressed my head and kissed me even harder? I didn't hear the director call cut. That was Michael's explanation. But wasn't he not hearing it a little too often? He seemed to go deaf during every single kissing scene. I dabbed at my lip, which Michael had bitten hard enough to draw blood, and suddenly, I understood. Michael must have bad hearing. The show was released as we filmed, and the response was amazing. Michael and I gained a massive number of CP fans. Seeing my name tied to another man's, constantly trending on social media, I sighed. I never expected to get this famous. Now all my old classmates, friends, and relatives have seen me sell out. But I did it all to make a living. I had no choice. I looked up glumly and saw Michael also on his phone, scrolling through our CP fan forum. His hair shadowed his face, giving him a gloomy look. He probably never expected a small project he took on a whim would get this much attention. For someone of his status, being shipped with someone else is the last thing he needs, right? Not only does it affect his personal brand, but I'm also a guy. Having his name tied to a nobody male actor like me not only lowers his status but could also affect his future roles in romantic dramas. Obviously, this kind of buzz and attention wasn't doing him any favors. The people in our fan forums were already shipping us so hard they'd lost touch with reality. A straight guy seeing his picture photoshopped into wedding photos with another man all over the internet. He must be pissed, right? I walked over and put a heavy hand on Michael's shoulder. Don't look at that stuff. Don't torture yourself. Maybe the hype will die down soon. Try to look on the bright side, man. Michael slowly lifted his face. Under his dark bangs, his lips were curved into a smile, his eyes crescents of pure bliss. On his phone screen was a fan-made Photoshop of our wedding photo. He slapped his thigh and shot to his feet. He grabbed my shoulders and shook me excitedly, his eyes gleaming, nearly shaking my head off. How can we let the hype die down? We can't let it die down. We need to do joint interviews, sign joint endorsement deals, shoot magazine covers together. We need to milk this for all it's worth. Michael and I did a ton of events together. Even after the show finished airing, our popularity was still sky high. Backstage at a variety show, I got a call from my mom, who had arranged a blind date for me back home. I hung up the phone with a big grin. When I turned around, I was met with Michael's dark, stormy face. A blind date? The pressure in the air dropped. We're like this now, and you're going back home for a blind date? I was still wearing the matching couple's t-shirt with Michael, and my waist was still warm from where he'd held me princess style during a game just moments ago. He looked like he wanted to say more, but the director announced that the break was over. Michael had to swallow his words and took my hand to lead me back on stage. During the second half of the games, Michael nearly crushed my waist in his hands. It was the first time I'd ever seen him look at me so angrily, and his grip was deliberately harsh. I couldn't figure out why. I asked my agent, confused. Why is he so pissed about me going on a blind date? My agent let out a contemptuous laugh. It's so obvious, and you still don't see it? I froze. Is the reason that easy to see? My agent lit a cigarette. Everyone but you can see why he's mad about your blind date. With my agent putting it like that, an answer started to bubble up in my mind. Could it be because my agent blew a smoke ring, looking like a seasoned expert? Because you're messing with his money. Duh. If you get caught on a blind date, how is he supposed to keep making money off this gay for pay thing? If he can't make money, of course he's gonna be pissed. You mess with his income, and he'll kill you. So that was it. My agent really knows his stuff. I gave him a thumbs up. Brilliant. Well, in that case, I definitely couldn't go on the blind date. I went to apologize to Michael, shaking his arm gently. Don't be mad at me. I'm not going on the blind date. It was all my fault. We're a team. Michael seemed to be instantly appeased, his face flushing as he looked at me, moved. We're a team? I nodded firmly. Of course, we're a team. We're a unit. I turned down the blind date and decided to postpone the whole wife, kids, and a white picket fence thing. I would obediently keep up the act with Michael. But the entertainment industry moves fast, and soon a new drama was dominating the charts. Our commercial events started to dwindle, and the hype from our show began to fade. I had made a boatload of money, but it all went to my father's debts and my mother's medical bills. Having gotten a taste of the easy money, I decided to work a little harder to earn some tuition and living expenses for my younger siblings. Since faking a relationship with Michael was so profitable, and we worked so well together and we both benefited from it, then wouldn't I make a fortune if I faked a few more? So I frantically accepted a new series with another male lead. When the director asked me to come in for an audition, I didn't think much of it. Not until I got to his room and didn't see my supposed male co-star. The director's hand suddenly touched the back of mine, and then grabbed it. "Leo, your last show was pretty good. What are you doing?" I instinctively tried to pull my hand back, but he was stronger and held it tight. "Leo, don't be so tense." His other hand came over, enveloping mine completely. "Come to bed and run some lines with me, and I'll make sure you get a new role." I started to panic, struggling to get free. "I'm not that kind of person." The director frowned. "What's the rush? In that show with Michael, you played the part so shamelessly, didn't you? With your ass up in the air. How come you can't be shameless with me?" He slapped my butt hard. The director picked up a jar of glass marbles from the table and shook it in front of my face. "I'll make it worth your while. 20 grand a marble. Let's see how many you can swallow." His rough hand slid from my waistband to my waist. I fought desperately, but he pinned me against the wall. "Leo, I believe in your potential." Along with the director's sudden scream, I saw the door lock get kicked open. The door frame slammed into the director's back, and the glass marbles in his hand scattered across the floor with a clatter. Behind the door stood Michael's handsome face. His eyes locked onto where the director's hand was touching my body, and his voice was vicious. "You have 3 seconds. Get your pig hooves off him." The director glared, about to confront Michael. Michael didn't even give him 1 second, landing a punch right on the director's jaw. "Get out. What are you doing here?" After dealing with the director, Michael took my hand and led me out. "Your agent told me there was something off about this director, so I got the address from him." I looked down at the way Michael was holding my hand. Our fingers were intertwined, palms pressed tightly together, sticky and intimate. Michael's long, bony fingers were laced through mine, gripping the back of my hand firmly. If I loosened my grip even a little, Michael would immediately tighten his, as if terrified I would get away. That fake director just now had also gripped my hand tightly. But the moment he touched me, I recoiled with physical disgust. How could a man touch my hand? I'm a guy too. I'm not gay. Outside of the show, I'm 100% straight. But why didn't I feel repulsed when Michael held my hand? Not only was I not repulsed by the hand-holding, I didn't seem to mind any of the intimate physical contact we had, on or off screen. And I think I might even be enjoying it. My brow furrowed. This can't be right. Michael was still pulling me forward. I stared at his back, my face burning. Is this right? Just then, my phone vibrated in my pocket. It was my sister calling to ask for her allowance. I told Michael to stop so I could take the call. Only then did he finally let go. But when I finished the call and went to rejoin Michael, I saw a female fan excitedly standing next to him. The fan was standing very close to Michael, wearing a little skirt with a huge smile on her face, talking to him about something. For some reason, seeing Michael talk to a female fan never bothered me before. But today, my heart suddenly dropped. It was a perfectly normal fan interaction. So why was I so annoyed? What did she say to make Michael laugh so happily? A sour feeling rose in my chest. Michael is so handsome. It's normal for him to have a lot of fans. There must be tons of people who like his type who are his girlfriend fans. I pouted and looked down, about to discreetly leave. Then I clearly heard the fan's words. "Lion, Lion, where's Kitten? Why isn't Kitten with you?" I looked up and met the fan's burning gaze and heard her shriek. "Kitten, I knew you'd be with Lion. My ship is real. Lion, quick, help me get a picture with Kitten. Or let's get a family photo." Ah, a family photo? I felt a secret thrill. During the photo, Michael put his arm around me for the fans. I leaned into his embrace, my heart inexplicably racing. Something's not right with me. I think my straightness might have a few cracks. No wonder I wasn't repulsed by the physical contact from the beginning. Could it be that all these years, I never realized I'm actually gay? I found my agent and grabbed his hand. My agent yelped and pushed me away. Hey, what are you holding my hand for? Did shooting one gay show actually turn you gay? As if. I walked away casually, but my mind was a mess. I felt nothing holding my agent's hand, and nothing holding the fake director's hand. So why is it that only when I hold Michael's hand? Watch out, car. As I was lost in thought, Michael appeared from the side and took my hand. I shuddered as if struck by lightning. Holy crap. I felt it. After realizing my feelings for Michael were different, I became incredibly shameless. Every time Michael and I attended a promotional event together, I'd be plotting my little schemes, trying to get closer to him. Michael was so innocent. He thought I was just playing it up for the fans and would foolishly cooperate, pulling me in even tighter. My face was pressed against Michael's chest, burning hot. The fans let out a collective gasp. Michael pretended to stroke my face affectionately in front of the fans, putting on a show. The fans went wild, and my face turned beet red. God, I'm the worst. I was actually starting to enjoy this. I'm becoming more and more gay by the day. But I never expected that my days of openly taking advantage would come to such an abrupt end. Michael got a new gay-themed series. I heard it was with a big shot director from overseas. Michael was going to have a new CP. By the time I heard the news, Michael was already on his way to meet the director. My heart sank. I got the address from Michael's agent and rushed over. I pushed open the half-closed door and saw the new director with his arms slung around Michael's shoulders. I bolted forward, not caring that I was a scrawny weakling, and slapped the director's hand away with my flat chest. What do you think you're doing? Groping him. The new director looked at his hand that I'd slapped away, then looked up at me with a cold smirk. Well, this is interesting. I never thought it wasn't just nobodies like me who got preyed upon. Even A-listers like Michael couldn't escape it. I had only come to convince Michael to keep faking it with me. I can't believe I walked in on a scene like this. This is infuriating. How could he touch Michael? I turned to Michael, trying to get him to leave with me. Michael, don't take this new show, okay? We can keep up our act for a while longer and still make money. I waited uncertainly for Michael's answer. I wasn't very confident before I came. Michael didn't expect me to show up, but he still focused on my words. His eyes lit up as he asked me, "Are you saying you don't want me to have a new CP? Why not?" My expression was conflicted as I swallowed my true feelings and made up an excuse. Because of the money, of course. If you have a new CP, I can't make money anymore. No other reason. I tried to sound casual. Of course not. Michael's expression fell, the light in his eyes gone. The director standing by, however, started laughing. Ha! He let out a cold laugh. How could he not take it? The other male lead is already confirmed. I panicked, shouting emotionally. The new CP is already set. He looked relaxed. It's a done deal. I was frantic. How could it be so fast? Oh, look who's getting antsy. That's right, the other male lead was decided a long time ago. Michael chose him himself, begged me to cast him. The new director, a cigarette dangling from his lips, took menacing steps toward me, an irrepressible smirk on his face. Pretty soon, this Michael of yours won't want you anymore, kiddo. You. I was so angry at his smug expression that I couldn't speak, my whole body trembling. Michael didn't want me anymore. He really had a new CP, and it all happened without me knowing. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I reflexively turned and grabbed Michael's hand. How could you cheat on me? The moment I said it, I realized I'd gotten too deep into character, and my face flushed red. The director was about to speak again, but was cut off by Michael. All right, bro, you can go. Stop teasing him. I froze. The tall man, who was just as tall as Michael, left the room with the cigarette still in his mouth. Before he left, he tossed out one last comment. Your little treasure here can't take a joke. He's about to cry. After Michael's explanation, I finally understood. The new director was Michael's cousin who had been living abroad for a long time. Then why was he teasing me? I was a little embarrassed, mumbling as I pulled my hand back from Michael's. But Michael grabbed it right back. You just said I was cheating. What did you mean by that? And nothing. You heard wrong. I tried to pull my hand away, but Michael held it tight. If getting a new CP is cheating, then what are we right now? Hearing that, I suddenly frowned, my voice laced with anger. You go find your new CP. Don't worry about me. I didn't say anything just now. Go discuss cheating with your new partner. You're a superstar anyway, you can create hype with anyone. I can make money other ways. I don't have to rely on being your fake boyfriend. My chest heaved. I felt like my lungs were going to explode. I pouted and gritted my teeth. Who cares? I was about to storm out, but Michael pulled me into his arms. Who came up with that cute little pout? He held me in his arms, and I stared up at him, wide-eyed and blushing. Who are you calling a cute little pout? Go find your new CP. He's the cute little pout. Don't move. Don't touch me. Don't touch me there. My waist. It's ticklish. It's sensitive. He looked down at my lips, seemingly not hearing a word I said. What are you mumbling about? I want to kiss you. Damn it. Go kiss your new CP. I'm your ex now. You can't just kiss me whenever you want. We're not in a relationship where we can just casually make out anymore. You are the new CP. With that, Michael's lips descended on mine. New co-star, let's rehearse. My mind was still reeling as Michael pushed me onto the bed, a doting look on his face. We've faked it so many times. This time, let's do it for real. Let's never break character. You're the only co-star I'll ever have for the rest of my life, Leo. After getting together with Michael, I kicked his waist while we were in bed. When did you turn gay? Who turned first? Michael didn't answer. I smugly curled up under the covers, rubbing my sore butt. It was definitely after me. You got caught in my web without even realizing it. Then I added proudly with a pout. You never saw it coming, did you? I was taking advantage of you from the very beginning, setting you up step by step, making you fall into my trap. Michael ruffled my hair and pulled me into his arms. Then he suddenly pushed himself up, flipping me over and pinning me to the bed. Oh, you're that good? Then let's go again. No, wait, stop. I'm not that good. Michael, have mercy. He had no mercy. I spent the next few days in bed, clutching my butt, until one day, I got a call from my gambling addict father. He'd been gambling again and opened with a string of curses. Leo, why the hell did I have a freak like you? You like getting screwed by men? If you don't send me money in 3 days, your mom's going to see all the disgusting filth you've been filming. Just a reminder, your mom has a weak heart, and my patience is limited. He had seen my show with Michael. I never thought our show would be popular enough to reach the middle-aged demographic. But the amount of debt he sent me was something I could never afford to pay. I spent 3 days secretly trying to raise the money behind Michael's back. I still couldn't make the deadline. On the 3rd day, I went to the hospital early to cut off my mom's phone's internet and signal. But when he couldn't reach me online, the loan shark came in person. I got into a fight with him at the hospital entrance. As I was getting up after he pushed me to the ground, he ran into the hospital. Michael, who had come to visit my mom, happened to see me just as I was getting up. Upstairs. Stop my dad. Don't let him talk to my mom, I yelled. Michael, without even having time to figure out what was going on, dropped the bags in his hands and sprinted up the stairs. I followed close behind. By the time I reached the room, Michael already had my dad under control in front of my mom. I had just breathed a sigh of relief when I saw my mom on the bed, her chest heaving, clearly furious. She pointed a weak finger at Michael and spoke. You two really filmed that kind of movie? This was bad. It looked like my dad got to her before Michael could stop him. Panicked. My mom's heart was weak, she couldn't handle this kind of shock. Mom. No, Mom. Let me explain. I only did it to make money for the family. But before I could finish, my mom excitedly ripped off her foredrip. Quick, put it on and let me see. It's been too long since this old shipper has had anything good to feast on. My dad was dumbfounded. Your son is gay. He thrashed around in Michael's grip, desperate. Not only did your son act in a disgusting movie with another man, your son is really gay. He's really gay. He yelled as Michael dragged him out of the room. My mom paid him no mind, sitting up in bed and rubbing her hands together excitedly. Son, hurry up and play it. My life has meaning again. After watching my show with Michael, my mom's complexion improved dramatically. She looked us up and down, her eyes gleaming. So, are you two for real? Seeing me hesitate, Michael stepped forward. Ma'am, my feelings for Leo are real. It was love at first sight for me. I liked him from the very first day on set. If it wasn't for Leo, I wouldn't have taken this role. I don't like men, but I like your son. I'm straight, but I'd bend for your son. His speech brought tears to my mother's eyes. She threw her head back and howled in the hospital room. My ship is real. It's real. After that day, my mom's spirits got better and better. She was discharged from the hospital not long after. According to my mom, she was in the hospital because she was weak from not having a good ship to feast on for too long. But now that Michael and I were feeding her sweet moments every day, she felt 10 years younger. My mom adored Michael and treated him like her own son. Just when everything seemed to be settling down, my gambling addict father attacked Michael from behind with a brick, hitting him in the back of the head. Michael collapsed on the spot, bleeding profusely. When he woke up, he didn't remember who I was. Who are you? Don't touch me. Michael slapped away the towel I was using to wipe his face and turned his head away. He didn't remember me. His handsome face was slightly flushed as he shrank back into the covers like a frightened animal. Don't touch me. The tips of his ears were also bright red. I froze completely, staring at the back of his head. Michael, you don't remember who I am? I don't know you. Go away. Michael's tone was cold. He wouldn't even look at me. Just go. Where is this? Why am I in a hospital? This is scary. His voice trembled slightly as he burrowed deeper into the blankets. The blow must have damaged his brain. He really had amnesia. So he had forgotten me, forgotten everything about us, forgotten that we were the internet's certified sweetest couple, forgotten all our beautiful memories. I slowly stood up, my body heavy with exhaustion. Okay, I'll go. I had barely taken half a step before the man behind me yanked me back. The pull was so strong, my momentum so great, that my body flew backward uncontrollably and I fell into Michael's arms. Michael, who had been so repulsed by me moments ago, stared at my face. He suddenly blushed and looked stunned. Do you have a boyfriend? What do you think of me? The look on his face was exactly the same as the first time he saw me on set. All his previous aversion was gone. I was stunned. You fell in love with me at first sight. Again? Michael looked down, blushing and a little embarrassed. What are you talking about? I leaned in to get a closer look at his face. I had just climbed onto the bed when Michael flipped me over and pinned me down. I was just kidding, sweetheart. I don't have amnesia. You don't have amnesia? I was still a bit dazed as he started taking my clothes off. Michael was already... By the time morning came, Michael was holding me tenderly in his arms. I don't have amnesia, but I wanted to say that even if I did lose my memory, I would still fall for you at first sight all over again.